I took a 12-hour bus ride just to make it to my dad's retirement party, spending $300 on a custom engraved watch for him. The moment I walked in, my sister Nicole burst out laughing. Well, look who finally crawled out of whatever hole he's been hiding in," she sneered, calling me the family My mom snatched the watch box from my hand, barely looking at me, and scoffed. "At least you got him something that's not completely worthless for once." Across the room, Uncle Kurt yelled, "Lock up your purses. The moocher's back in town." Everyone laughed, and I thought it was a joke, until I saw my old bedroom door was gone. My mattress dumped in the driveway, and my belongings scattered like trash. My brother, Jared, walked out wearing my jacket and casually stated, "We turned that room into a home gym. You don't live here anymore." I turned to my dad, who just took a sip of his whiskey, and said, "You ghosted us for years, and now you expect a welcome parade." Then they told me if I wanted to earn my place back in the house, I'd have to pay $2,000 in back rent. I just smiled and left. 2 weeks later, the whole family group chat exploded. Right from the start, I knew something was off when I arrived at my parents' place after that long bus ride. I stood there, suitcase in one hand, watch box in the other, and my mom looked at me like she wasn't sure if she recognized me, or just annoyed I'd shown up at all. I didn't expect a marching band, but it had been a while. You'd think I was some random guy selling solar panels. Not her actual son, who just spent half a day on a Greyhound and his last spare cash on a decent gift. I knocked, and immediately heard voices inside, like they were already talking about me. Nobody said anything for a full minute. Then Nicole, classic Nicole, opened the door and just stood there, blocking the entry, grinning like she was on reality TV. She glanced down at my bag, then the watch box, and said, "Well, look who finally crawled out of whatever hole he's been hiding in." The family screw up, not even a hello. Everyone in the living room laughed like it was open mic night. At my expense. Great start, right? I stepped in, trying to play it cool, ignoring her and looking for my dad. He was across the room with a small group of people, Uncle Kurt, some neighbors, everyone already a few drinks deep. I caught his eye for half a second. He nodded, then went back to his glass. No one even asked how I was or how the ride went. Nothing. My mom walked over, literally ripped the watch box out of my hand, didn't even look at me, and said loud enough for the whole room to hear, "At least you got him something that's not completely worthless for once." Like I was a kid who brought home a failed report card. I wanted to say something, but honestly, I just wanted the ground to open up and swallow me. Then Uncle Kurt, who I swear only shows up to family events to stir the pot, yelled from the couch, "Lock up your purses, the moocher's back in town again." More laughter. I tried to brush it off, saying, "Hey, nice to see you too," but nobody was even listening. It was like I was just background noise at my own dad's party. I'm not going to lie, I was mad, but it's not like I expected much else. This wasn't new. I always got the hand-me-downs, always the one who never quite lived up to whatever standard they had in mind. Meanwhile, Jared, my younger brother, the golden child, obviously was walking around in my old jacket like it was his. I asked about it, and he just shrugged, saying, "Oh yeah, your room's a gym now. You don't live here anymore." Like I was supposed to laugh along. I went to check my old room anyway, just out of habit, and there was no door. The mattress was out on the driveway, old posters ripped down, my stuff in garbage bags tossed against the wall in the hallway. I saw my old PS4 cords in a knot, some of my books missing, a couple of boxes half open with clothes spilling out. It looked like someone tried to pick through them for anything decent but gave up. I heard Jared behind me talking to someone about wanting more space for the bench and weights, and how there was no point keeping junk from someone who doesn't even visit. By this point, I wasn't even trying to hide how pissed I was. I grabbed my suitcase and headed back toward the kitchen, where my mom was making a show of unwrapping the watch in front of a couple of her friends. They were looking at it, nodding. But I could tell she was already annoyed that I didn't get something nicer. Like what? A car? Sure. Finally I found my dad in the backyard, standing by himself with a drink. I stood there, waiting for him to say something, anything. He finally said, "So you ghosted us for years and think you deserve a welcome parade?" I told him. I just wanted to be here. Didn't expect a parade, just maybe not to get roasted by the whole family. He shrugged. That's what happens when you disappear. You become the punchline. I tried to explain, but he didn't care. Then the whole back rent thing came up. Jared, Nicole, my mom, Uncle Kurtle, standing around now. They said if I wanted to earn my place back, I'd need to pay $2,000 in back rent for the time I wasn't helping out. I literally laughed because I thought it was a joke, but they were dead serious. My mom said it was only fair since everyone else contributes and I'd just been coasting. Jared said maybe I should try actually being part of the family for once. So I just stared at them. I knew they were waiting for me to blow up, to make a scene, but I wasn't giving them that. Instead, I picked up my bag, walked through the living room. Nicole tried to block my way. I pushed past her, no apology, and headed outside. Behind me, I heard Uncle Kurt say something about good riddance, and my mom slammed the door harder than necessary. I stood out there for a second, trying to decide if I should just leave the watch on the porch, or take it and sell it for bus fare. Not like I could get anything for it now. I left it. I started walking, didn't even check my phone for directions. I just needed to move. I was angry, but more than that, I was tired of being the family scapegoat. They say I ghosted them, but they never call, never text, unless they want something. Last time I tried to come home, they made a huge show about me being late for dinner, like I was still 12. I ended up at a friend's place that night, crashed on his couch, didn't say much. The next morning, I checked my phone and saw about 6 missed calls from various family members. None of them with an actual apology or anything. Just more of the same jokes, digs, reminders that I'm not really one of them. But here's the thing. I'm done letting them get off that easy. I don't care if they think I'm the black sheep or whatever. I've spent too long being the butt of every joke. The one who pays for it all in the end. And I'm not interested in playing along anymore. So that's where I left it. Suitcase by the door, watch on the porch, family inside laughing about how I finally showed up. I walked away, but I'm not just letting it slide this time. What happens next? Let's just say if they want to call me the moocher, I'll show them what that actually looks like. Update 1. Alright, so this is where it goes. From just regular family drama to something else. Honestly, I'm still a little shocked at how fast my mindset flipped from trying to be a peacemaker to just, nah, screw it, I'm done being nice. After that whole scene at my parents' place, I didn't go straight home. I crashed at my buddy Jasper's apartment. Shout out to Jasper for always having beer and a couch with only minimal dog hair and tried to decompress. I slept terribly, woke up at 6, and wasn't surprised to see 0 texts from anyone actually apologizing. Just group chat spam, some laughing emojis, and Jared sending a photo of my old mattress in the driveway with the caption, "Free to a good home, hilarious." I packed up what was left of my stuff the next morning. As I was dragging that busted suitcase out of my parents' driveway, I noticed a box sitting on top of the trash bins. It was half open, paperwork spilling out everywhere, old envelopes, some receipts, nothing I really wanted to deal with. But I saw a folder with my name scribbled on it, and I don't know, I just grabbed it. So I got back to my place, dumped everything on the floor, and started sifting through it, mostly to distract myself from the urge to send a truly nuclear text to the family group chat. There was tax stuff, warranty cards, a bunch of old school photos from when I still had braces. And then, man, this is where it gets wild. I found a copy of that loan agreement from 10 years ago. Notarized. My signature. My dad's signature. I stared at it for a while. Like, is this real? Did they really just bury it in a box with old junk mail? Here's the thing. If you've never had your own family, just straight up pretend you never did something major for them. It's hard to explain how weird it feels. Like you're the villain in their story for leaving, but they get to keep the stuff you gave like it's theirs. Anyway, quick recap for anyone new. 10 years ago, Dad's business was basically toast. I had a small inheritance from Grandma 40 Grandan. Everyone guilt-tripped me into investing in the family legacy. They drew up a real agreement, notarized everything, sent me a check for interest every once in a while, then just stopped. No one ever mentioned it again. I brought it up a couple times at holidays. Always got brushed off. Dad would say, "Oh, we'll sort it out, I'm good for it." Then they'd change the subject, or someone would bring out dessert or something. So after the party fiasco, I sat down and did the math. If I'd put that money in literally any decent index fund, I'd have doubled it by now. But instead, my family treated me like a beggar in my own house. I texted Jared about the loan, kept it chill, just said, "Hey, you remember the loan I made to Dad?" He left me on read. A few hours later, Nicole texted with the classic, "Oh my God, you're still going on about that. It was forever ago, let it go." So yeah, no help there. I called my mom just to see if she'd pretend not to remember too. She picked up, gave me the whole, "We're busy, Travis, can you call later?" I told her I wanted to talk about the money I loaned Dad. She went silent, then said, "You really need to grow up, this is embarrassing." So cool, that's how they want to play it. At that point, I just got mad, not performative mad, like cold, focused. Let's see how you handle this mad. I googled compound interest calculators, started adding it up. I called a lawyer, not some family friend, just a regular local guy whose number I found online. No, I'm not some genius who has a legal team on speed dial. I just looked up reviews and picked someone who sounded competent. I sent the lawyer the paperwork, the agreement, my emails, everything. He called me back after a day, saying, "Yeah, this is legit. And by the way, with interest, that's about 78 grand now." I nearly dropped my phone, not even going to lie. So I told him, "Look, I want to do this by the book. Send a demand letter, make it certified, whatever you've got to do." He asked, "Do you want to try to talk to them first?" I said, "No, I'm done talking. Here's where it starts getting fun." The lawyer drafted a letter, old school, printed on letterhead, with the details spelled out in plain English. Pay back the principal and interest in 60 days, or he'll file a lien on Dad's business assets. I paid the retainer, signed a couple forms, and just like that, it was out of my hands. The next day, I got a text from Jared. Something about how I'm acting like a child and shouldn't air family business outside the family. I ignored it. Then Nicole tried to call, left a voicemail that was just her sighing for 30 seconds and then hanging up. My mom didn't call at all, which, to be honest, is on brand. The weirdest thing is how quiet it got all of a sudden. The group chat slowed down. No more jokes, no more memes about me being homeless or too broke to buy real gifts. I guess they thought I was bluffing at first, or maybe they just didn't think I'd follow through. Meanwhile, I'm just living my regular life, scrolling through Reddit and doom-scrolling Twitter, waiting to see what happens next. I started thinking about all the times I bailed Jared out of a bad situation. Or Nicole needed a ride at 2 a.m., or my mom wanted someone to help her move furniture. Not once did I hold it over their heads. But the second I needed some basic respect, I got nothing. I knew this was the right move, but I can't say I didn't feel a little weird about bringing lawyers into it. I mean, I'm not the guy who sues his own family, but you call me a moocher. You dump my stuff in the street. You make me pay back rent. Nah, I don't owe you silence. So that's where I'm at. 60 days on the clock, letter sent, and suddenly my phone is a lot quieter. I don't know exactly what they'll do next, but I know one thing. They wanted to treat me like an outsider. Fine, I'm leaning into it. The next part's where things start to get loud, and not gonna lie, I'm kind of looking forward to it. Update 2, so I guess I figured the lawyer's letter would make some noise. But man, I way underestimated just how hard the family would lose it. Not even a full day after the letter landed, and my phone was already lighting up like I'd posted a confession to murder on Facebook. It wasn't just texts either. 3 missed calls from Mom before 10 a.m. Jared calling twice back to back. I didn't answer. He hates voicemail. Then Nicole, spamming the group chat with a wall of all caps and the occasional skull emoji, like she was trying to hex me through the screen. The weird part, it was quiet for about a week after I sent it. Like weirdly quiet. I was out walking to grab coffee and realized no new family notifications. Nothing. It almost felt like they were just going to ghost me. Not that I cared. But then, out of nowhere, everything hit at once. If you've ever watched a group chat, Go from 0 to DEFCON 1 in under 5 minutes. You know the feeling. Nicole's first message wasn't even words. Just a screenshot of the lawyer's letter. They actually sent her a picture of it. Why? I don't know, with a whole bunch of question marks. Then she followed up with, "What did you do?" Dad's freaking out. "Are you happy now?" Mom's next. But she doesn't even bother with text. She leaves a long voice note, which I listened to out of morbid curiosity, 2 straight minutes of her crying, then calling me heartless, begging me to think about what I'm doing to the family. Then Uncle Kurt jumps in like he's been waiting for his moment. He sends this long rant about how I'm bleeding my father dry, how I should be ashamed, how I'll never see a penny because family doesn't sue family. I can picture him in that ugly chair in their den, waving his beer around, barely holding it together. And then, of course, Jared. His messages are short: "You're a scumbag. You're dead to us. Don't ever show your face here again." He's always been good at the one-liner, not so much the follow-through. It's honestly wild how fast everyone flipped the script. Like when they were calling me a moocher and making me pay rent for an old twin bed. That was just tough love. But as soon as I want my actual money back, suddenly I'm the one destroying the family. For a second, I thought maybe I'd pushed too hard. Not out of guilt, more just, is this really happening? Did I just nuke my own family group chat for real? But then I remembered they made it clear I was expendable. If I'm going to be the villain, fine, I'll play the